Everybody. We wanted to get a quick video out, 5 or 10 minutes worth of your time to kind of demo the data collection and notes, session note writing portion of our software, just so you guys could get a quick view before maybe you wanted to jump into a more long form demo and see everything. So what you're looking at here is the library, just alphanumeric kind of list of all of your goals. We'll throw some of this in here for you. You can build your own by clicking add goal, give it a title, categories of things that you're going to define over here. You can see they're just buckets, manding and coax, motor imitation. I'll show you what those kind of mean in the program book. Here are the data collection methods, all the different types, yes, no, percent dependent, task analysis, frequency, duration, interval is being added within the next week or so, as of today, August 8th, 2024. The description is going to be your teaching instruction, material, setting, all that cool jazz that you guys think up that you want to put in there. Minimum to graph can be 0 to 100, and then your success, your master criteria, so 80% across 5 sessions, whatever you want it to be, can be there. We can auto phase change from baseline to intervention to a maintenance mode, based on what your settings are here. If you don't want that, turn it off. If you do select it, we'll go ahead and do that. We'll throw the phase change line on the graph for you. And then from there, if you want it to remain in maintenance, you can just leave it. If you want to remove it kind of from the programming so that we're not running it all the time, you'll have to affirmatively move it into a MET bucket. We feel like that's a clinical judgment on your part at that point. So that's how you do that. Here's how you add a category. Real straightforward. Just give it a name. And then how that kind of sorts out in the program book is, let me sort this by, I got to find somebody with a program. Cameron, I know does. So here's what you're looking at in Cameron's program book. Here's those categories. They live here on this black bar so that you can kind of filter. You can see it changing on the left side over here, the list of goals. To add a new goal, straightforward, all the same buckets here. A few differences here that you're going to see are the status that you have it in, whatever status you want to go in. We can add a new goal from the template if you want to. So there's A12. If you want a novel goal, you just start typing kind of the same way. This is where you can select the number of baseline sessions you want down there at the bottom. I don't think we showed you on that on the previous screen. And then here's your prompt levels that you might want down here that you can select. Those are the main differences on that screen. Plan and care button takes you to that actual base document where you can write within the software if you set it up that way. That's entirely up to you. The cool thing that happens if you do write the plan of care or behavior intervention plan within the software is we can help you build your program book straight from that base document. You don't have to come in here and then build it later. All the goals that you add to the plan of care in that document that you're writing within the software will just flow straight through into the program book so that you can have them here. Anyways, we can search on the left side of the screen over here. That allows you to filter out down here. We can also show you the number of goals that are in there and their respective status. As you click them, we populate the graph. Graph has lots of functionality. We can zoom in, zoom out. We can give you a few different image types. We can give you the raw data if you want it. And then we can add a phase change line if you need to. We can zoom in, or I guess not zoom in. We can make the screen bigger. We can edit from here as well, another edit button. We can comment directly here on this goal. Helps to alleviate some supervision burden, so we can have quick conversations about this goal. If we need a quick update for an RBT, they can ask a question, or you can give an instruction. We can pin it. That puts it under this pin right here. We can add data. So if we had a kiddo engaged in some big behavior and we didn't have we couldn't get to the device, maybe we were blocking some aggression or keeping a kiddo safe from some self-injurious behavior, and we can come back and add some data later. You probably aren't taking a ton, but that's what that's here for. The delete button, I usually tell people, is what it says it is. It deletes the goal. We had someone ask for this. We put it here. We kind of went back and forth, but we give you a big ugly notification say don't do that. We can pull this data back. It's a little bit of work, but I usually just tell people don't touch that button. Down below the graph, you've got introed and mastered dates. This goal hasn't been mastered. If it is mastered, you'll see that met right there. You can see the mastery criteria line like just a little line across the top there to kind of show that. Down below the graph, we've got this timestamped data. Two things here. We can see who did it, when they did it, what the answers were. We can hide the data, and it's really an accountability measure for you and your team, for you to be able to come look and be like, hey, Dave, you mass trialed Cameron, and maybe that's not the right idea. The other thing that you can kind of see is when it's run during the session. So, it's pretty clear. 9:43, I was done with my session, and it went till 5. Well, it went to 11. But so what did we do for the last hour and 15 minutes of the appointment? It helps identify training deficits for you guys. So that's what the BCBA see. There's a few ways to get to the session that for the RBTs, or if you're running the session as the BCBA, you hit green button here, the green button in your calendar, the green button in your schedule, or you can go a couple other places too and find this green button. But opens the same box here, hit the enter, excuse me, and then look very similar. Got the black bar here for filtering the pin. This kind of shows up here so we can see allergies, warnings, likes, dislikes, and notes. These are intended to be quick hits of information where you can give just some insight on the kiddo, especially useful for subs or for newer staff members to set them up for success in the session. Coming across the top, the note will come back here, but you can type in here, you can save, you can do different things. You can autofill your last, which just pulls forward the last note. Not super helpful for kind of novel ABA sessions, but you can do that. If you're an admin, you can edit the entire details. I've already taken data in this appointment, and once you've taken data, you can't anymore. You can just edit the start and end times as needed. So, we can edit these times so we get an appropriate timesheet for the staff member, and so that we can get an appropriate billing entry generated with the correct times. Coming down, we'll talk about summary note last, but aggression is just a counter. You can see it counted up there. Pretty straightforward. These widgets all have the same kind of 4 boxes, 3 if you're a BCBA, or 3 if you're an RBT, 4 if you're a BCBA. The edit button goes away if you're RBT. We don't let the RBTs edit the goals. This is the description. Whatever you typed in the description box here within that goal shows up there. The comment section is where you can see those comments that you're having that we kind of already discussed. The pin button throws it under this pin right here. Anybody can pin their stuff in there that they want to find easily. I usually tell people this is where I put all the things that, are going to happen kind of spontaneously throughout the session. So SIB, aggression, things that you're going to want to get to quickly, put them under the pin, and you can click the pin, hit the aggression button, and go back to all, and you're back to whatever you need. We can do kind of the same things. We can search down here. We can click and we snap to those specific goals so that we can take that data really quickly. The left and the right side scroll independently of each other on an iPad or a computer. On a phone, they stack. So the list is on top of all of the widgets. So you kind of, whatever works for you, can be down in the widgets, or you can be up in the list and filtering that way on your phone. We're optimized for any of those screens. It just gets a little, as the screen gets smaller, it gets a little worse because of the size of the screen. Up here on the right, you can click the individual data and see when it happened. So kind of what I showed you in the program book, we already saw that, but we can change any of these that we need to. It'll update, can delete them if we need to. The fraction is showing you your minimum to graph, so you can see we can go over it. This one hasn't been, we don't have enough to graph these yet. As we come down the screen, there's a couple other widgets down here. There's a duration timer. As you hit those, we count up. There they are. You can change the times if you need to. The last one is a task analysis that I haven't showed you yet. I'll just pull this one up. So give it a name. Give it, you've already selected your data collection. Here's all the steps. We can go forward chaining, backward chaining, or total task, whatever makes sense for your task analysis. We can start on the current step if it's forward. Well, I guess if it's forwards. And then we can have all the prompt levels we need to, the description if you need one, and then your mastery criteria. And it'll graph on that cumulative graph or kind of stair steps up for you as you achieve mastery of those individualized steps. So that's what the RBTs are going to see. Within the session, the summary note is really intended to kind of help you write the note. So we take these little snips of information throughout the session that are important. So, we eloped from the table, we ate snack, we engaged in SIB, we hit everybody, whatever we did. Then we visit the form at the end of the session, and rather than having to sit here and bang out a note at the end of the session, we hit generate AI summary, and it's going to narrativize it for you. This isn't a great example because I only had those 7 or 8 pieces of information in there, but over the course of a 2-hour session, you're probably going to have 20 to 30. You're going to get 2 to 3 paragraphs of information, and it's going to be written consistently and really well. What I tell people regarding AI is it's a tool, not a replacement. So you're the one that is going to put your name under this when you sign your note. And so you need to read it and make sure that it's correct. The other thing, there's 2 cool things that happen. So the data that we have suggests that before we implemented the AI tool, note completion at the end of the session, so in this case 5 p.m. up here, end of the session, was about 60%. After implementing the AI notes, it's above 95%. So we're not chasing people for notes. The other thing that it does is it puts 10 to 15 minutes per 2-hour session, and it doesn't grow. Like if it's a 4-hour session, it doesn't go to 20 to 30, but it puts 10 to 15 minutes back into a session where we're doing behavior analytic things that should produce more meaningful outcomes for our clients. That's really cool. That's what we're here to do. We're not here to write GWiz notes. GWiz notes are great, but if we can produce that meaningful outcome for the client, that's really what we're here for. Documentation is just a funding source requirement that we have to get done. So that's the notes. That's the data collection. I realized I went over the 10 minutes I tried to stay under, but I wanted to show you that real quick so that you guys could get kind of a view of what happened or what happens as you're taking the data and writing the notes. So if you want to do a demo, go ahead and jump on the website, jump on my calendar, and we'll be happy to go into more detail and answer your questions that you have. So appreciate you watching.